talk about a bad day getting worse. Imagine you're Real Madrid.
Oh, yeah.
You just lost a huge Champions League match.
Struggle.
And to top it off,
Oh?
your team bus gets into an accident. That's what we're diving into today.
Wow.
But not from the usual sports angle.
Okay.
We're taking a look at a UK news article
Interesting.
about this weird incident that happened off the pitch. Get ready.
Okay.
We're going beyond the headlines
All right.
to uncover some details you might not expect.
Yeah, it definitely caught my attention. It's not every day you hear about a champion team being in a traffic accident.
Right, unless it's like
Yeah.
some victory parade gone wrong or something.
Exactly. Exactly. So tell me more.
So picture this.
Okay.
November 28th, 2024. Real Madrid's bus is on the M40 motorway in England.
M40, so that's a major highway, right?
Yep, big highway, multiple lanes, high speeds, the whole deal.
Got it. And to be even more specific, it happened between junctions 16 and 15 in Warwickshire.
You really did your research.
Had to. And this location matters. It wasn't some city fender bender. This was on the motorway.
Yeah, that makes it way more serious.
Definitely adds another layer.
Okay, so Real Madrid's bus, a lorry.
Lord, you mean a truck?
Yeah, truck for our American listeners.
Good clarification.
And a car, all tangled up in this collision. Sounds intense for a minute.
Yeah, for sure.
But get this.
Okay.
No one was seriously hurt.
Oh, thank goodness. I was worried for a second.
Right. Only the bus driver had some minor injuries
Oh, okay.
and was treated right there on the scene. Can you imagine if players had been injured?
Oh, the media frenzy would have been insane. Headlines for days.
Absolutely, a totally different story. But here's where it gets even more interesting. The police statement specifically says the Real Madrid players weren't on the bus during the crash.
Wait, what? Where were they then?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Yeah.
The article doesn't tell us.
So we're left to speculate.
Exactly. Were they already at the airport, back at a hotel, maybe grabbing a late-night snack? Who knows?
That is a real head-scratcher. The mystery just keeps growing.
And as if this whole thing wasn't already strange enough, there's a photo of the damaged bus floating around on social media.
Oh, I bet that's going viral.
Oh, absolutely. You know how it is. A picture's worth 1,000 words.
Yeah, and in this case, probably fueled a lot of the early buzz,
For sure. Visuals are huge these days.
especially on social media. Things spread like wildfire.
Speaking of, this all happened the day after Real Madrid's 2-0 loss to Liverpool in the Champions League.
Ouch. Talk about adding insult to injury, huh?
Right. Even if the crash itself had nothing to do with the game,
Yeah.
it must have felt like rock bottom for the team.
Oh, I bet. But beyond Real Madrid, think about the practical impact, too.
Oh, yeah, good point. The motorway was shut down.
Right, major delays.
Reports said over 45 minutes of standstill traffic.
Wow, that's a huge disruption. You know, a motorway closure like that doesn't just inconvenience people trying to get from A to B.
True.
It impacts businesses, deliveries, the whole flow of things.
Makes you realize how much we depend on smooth logistics, right?
Yeah, even a seemingly isolated incident like this crash can have ripple effects across a whole region.
Definitely makes you think.
Uh-uh.
And speaking of thinking,
What's on your mind?
I'm really curious what caused the crash in the first place. The article doesn't say.
So we're left wondering.
Yeah, was it driver error, mechanical failure, something else entirely? We just don't know.
And like you mentioned earlier, what about the lorry driver? Was he or she? Yeah, okay. The article doesn't say anything about that either.
It's all focused on Real Madrid.
Which is interesting, right? Because this incident made international news, mainly because of who was involved, even though the players weren't even there.
It really makes you think, how does fame or association affect the way events are perceived and reported? What about the stories that don't involve famous people? Do those get ignored just because they lack that star power?
That's a big question. Really makes you think about the role of media and what kind of narratives grab the public's attention.
Definitely something to ponder. We've been looking at this crash from a high level, the media attention, the logistical impact, the mystery surrounding the players. But what about the people actually caught up in it?
Oh, right, the human element.
Exactly. The lorry driver, the other folks stuck in traffic. Their experiences matter too, right?
Absolutely. It's easy to forget about those individual stories when we're focused on a high-profile entity like Real Madrid.
It's a good reminder that even in a story that seems to revolve around celebrities, there are always everyday people whose lives are affected, sometimes in really big ways.
It's all about perspective, right?
Yeah,
There's always more to the story than meets the eye.
absolutely. This incident, even though it might seem minor in the grand scheme of things, is a good reminder that every story has multiple sides.
And sometimes, the most impactful details are the ones that aren't immediately obvious.
Exactly. It's like peeling back the layers of an onion. There's always more to uncover. And that's what we do here on the deep dive, right? Go beyond the surface and explore those hidden layers of information.
Sounds good to me.
But before we do that, let's take a quick break and come back to unpack this even further.
It really is like an archaeological dig.
Ooh, I like that.
We start with the surface, those basic facts,
Right.
and then we dig deeper,
Yeah.
uncovering the artifacts, the hidden connections.
Love it. And speaking of artifacts,
Yeah.
let's dig into that photo of the damaged bus.
Okay.
We touched on it earlier,
Right.
but I think it's worth exploring how that image maybe influenced the story's spread and how people first reacted.
Makes it, you see a photo of a bus, clearly been in an accident,
Right.
and the first thing you think is Real Madrid.
Yeah, that connection is immediate.
It makes the incident seem more serious even before you know any details.
It's almost like our brains fill in the blanks, you know?
Yeah.
We see the picture, hear a Real Madrid bus crash,
Uh-huh.
and automatically assume the worst.
Especially after their recent loss.
Exactly. It makes you think about how powerful images are.
They really shape how we see things.
For sure. And in this case, that photo probably helped the story spread like crazy on social media.
No doubt about it. Speaking of which,
Yeah.
the role of social media in all this is pretty fascinating.
It's a double-edged sword, right?
Totally. It can spread information quickly.
Right. Reaches so many people.
But there's always a risk.
Oh, yeah. Big time.
It's information.
Especially in situations like this.
Yeah, emotions running high
People sharing rumors and speculation.
before the facts are even clear.
And in the case of this crash,
Yeah,
that initial wave of social media buzz
right.
might have painted a way more dramatic picture than what really happened.
Very likely.
It's a good reminder to be critical of what we see online.
Absolutely. Especially nowadays.
You can't just believe everything that pops up on our feeds, right?
Exactly. We've got to question the source, consider different viewpoints.
Right. Be skeptical of anything that seems too sensational or overblown.
Those are usually red flags.
Yeah, good signs that we need to do some more digging.
Be a digital detective,
I like that. Cross-referencing info.
looking for inconsistencies.
Not taking things at face value.
That critical thinking mindset is essential
Not just for news stories.
for life in general.
True, true. But let's shift gears a bit.
Okay, what are you thinking?
We've talked a lot about Real Madrid, the media, social media.
Yeah, we've covered a lot of ground.
What about the other people involved in this incident?
Good point. We can't forget about them.
The lorry driver, for example. The
Yeah.
article mentions the bus driver's injuries,
Right.
but nothing about the lorry driver.
It makes you wonder.
Yeah, was he or she okay? What was their experience like?
Exactly. And what about everyone else stuck in that 45-minute traffic jam?
Oh, yeah.
Frustration, worry, curiosity.
It's easy to overlook those individual experiences when the focus is on someone famous like Real Madrid.
It happens all the time.
It's a good reminder that even in a story that seems to be all about celebrities,
Yeah,
there are always everyday people whose lives are affected.
sometimes in big ways.
And those individual stories, those human moments,
They often get lost in the news cycle.
which brings us to something really important:
What's that?
empathy.
Oh, yeah.
When we're reading or watching the news,
Uh-huh.
it's crucial to remember that there are real people behind the headlines,
With their own unique perspective.
their own experiences.
Yeah,
It's so easy to get caught up in the spectacle, the drama,
right, all the excitement.
but we can't forget about the human side of things.
That's where the real insights are.
Understanding the human stories behind the events,
It's about broadening our perspective,
looking beyond the surface.
recognizing how interconnected we all are.
Wrapping up this deep dive,
Yeah.
I'm left feeling a sense of awe
Aw,
and responsibility.
I can see that.
Awe because this incident seemed simple at first.
Right, just a bus crash.
But it's turned out to be so complex.
Lots of layers to unpack.
From the dynamics of fame and media
Yeah.
to the importance of critical thinking and empathy
Well said.
and responsibility, because it reminds us that we all play a role in shaping the narrative.
Both as consumers and creators of information.
Exactly. And thinking about all those different perspectives makes me wonder about the long-term impact of this incident.
On the people involved.
We talked about the lorry driver and the other motorists.
Right.
But what about the ripple effects beyond that?
Interesting question. Could this lead to changes in how teams travel? Maybe spark a conversation about social media and how it handles breaking news.
Like the butterfly effect, right? One seemingly small event can have these huge consequences.
that we might not even see coming,
It makes you think about how much power we each have.
to influence the world around us.
It's both empowering and humbling, right?
It really is. We might not always see the full impact of our actions.
But that doesn't make them any less important.
Exactly. Every choice, every interaction
It all adds up.
contributes to the bigger picture.
And sometimes those seemingly insignificant moments
Yeah,
end up shaping history.
absolutely. So, as we wrap up,
Yeah.
I hope our listeners are feeling curious
Wanting to dig deeper.
and with a new appreciation for how complex the world is.
Couldn't have said it better myself. It's been an amazing journey.
I agree.
Exploring this Real Madrid bus crash
Uncovering those hidden insights.
that we might have missed otherwise.
It's been a pleasure.
And to our listener out there,
Yeah.
we'll leave you with this thought.
Okay.
Keep asking questions.
Yeah.
Keep challenging assumptions.
Good advice.
And keep exploring the unknown.
Love it.
Because it's in those moments of discovery
Yeah.
that we truly connect with the world and with each other.
Beautifully said. And hey, if you ever find yourself on the M40 motorway, drive safe, especially if you see a football team bus.
You never know what kind of deep dive might be waiting around the corner. It really makes you think, right? About those unheard voices and like the impact of this whole thing on the people involved.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, we talked about the lorry driver, the other people stuck in traffic, the emotional toll it might have taken. But what about those ripple effects, you know? The things we don't see right away.
Right, the long-term consequences.
Exactly. Could this lead to, I don't know, maybe changes in how teams travel, like stricter safety protocols or something?
That's possible, yeah.
Or could it even spark a bigger discussion about like social media and how it handles breaking news situations, all that misinformation spreading so fast?
I could see that happening. It's like that butterfly effect, isn't it?
Totally. Something that seems small at first can have these huge consequences that we don't even think about.
It's amazing, really, how interconnected everything is.
And it makes you realize, you know, we all have the power to influence things, even in small ways.
It's true. It can feel empowering, but also a bit humbling.
Definitely. We might not always see the full impact of what we do.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean it doesn't matter.
Exactly. Every choice we make, every little thing.
It all contributes to the bigger picture.
And sometimes it's those seemingly insignificant moments that end up shaping history, you know?
It's a good reminder to be mindful, I think, of the choices we make and the actions we take.
Absolutely. So, as we wrap up this deep dive,
Yeah.
I hope our listeners are walking away with a sense of curiosity
Wanting to learn more, dig deeper.
and, you know, just a greater appreciation for how complex everything is.
Couldn't agree more. It's been a fascinating journey exploring all the layers of this seemingly simple bus crash.
It really has. Uncovering all those hidden insights.
It's been a pleasure, as always.
Likewise. And to our listeners out there, we'll leave you with this thought. Keep asking questions.
Don't be afraid to challenge assumptions.
And keep exploring. Because it's in those moments of discovery that we truly connect with the world and with each other.
Beautifully said. It's been a great discussion. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for joining. And to everyone listening, thanks for diving deep with us. We'll catch you next time.
A Real Madrid team bus was involved in a minor collision on the M40 motorway in the Midlands, England. The accident caused traffic delays, but only the bus driver sustained minor injuries. The players were not on the bus at the time of the incident, which occurred while the team was in the UK for a Champions League match. The article from The Sound of Sport News provides details of the accident and its aftermath, including statements from emergency services and police. Team bus was involved in a minor collision on the M40 motorway in the Midlands, England. The accident caused traffic delays, but only the bus driver sustained minor injuries. The players were not on the bus at the time of the incident, which occurred while the team was in the UK for a Champions League match. The article from The Sound of Sport News provides details of the accident and its aftermath, including statements from emergency services and police. A Real Madrid team bus was involved in a minor collision on the M40 motorway in the Midlands, England. The accident caused traffic delays, but only the bus drivers sustained minor injuries. The players were not on the bus at the time of the incident, which occurred while the team was in the UK for a Champions League match. The article from The Sound of Sport News provides details of the accident and its aftermath, including statements from emergency services and police.
Thanks for tuning in to The Sound of Sport TV, where we bring you the latest sports news and the hottest beats to keep your energy high. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more thrilling updates. Until next time, stay tuned and stay sporty.